Welcome to the Hamsi Analytics Daily Market Commentary. I'm Pablo Navarro. Today is Tuesday, October 16, 2012. For the market internals, the New York Stock Exchange advanced decline differential closed at 1,433. Nasdaq advanced decline differential closed at 694. We had 35 new 52-week highs for the S&P 500 and 2 new 52-week lows for the S&P 500. Very strong market internals today and overall. For the volatility, 608,000 contracts traded on the VIX today, with 63 million in total premiums paid. For the dollar-weighted put-call ratio in October, we saw a 4.48, which is very bullish, with 29% of the total premiums paid. In November, a 0.83, which is neutral, with 40% of the total premiums paid. And in December, a 1.38 reading, with 22% of the total premiums paid. Here we have the daily chart for SPX. We have a big update today, 14.79 handles or 1% for the day. We broke 0 sigma to the upside and did not look back. We also closed at the highs of the day, which was very positive here for the market at 1454, 1455, let's call it. We are right now at 1 sigma, and the target we're looking at here is 1468. That's going to be our positive 2 sigma, and after that maybe looking for the highs of the year, try to take this one out. Very important pattern here after being short-term oversold, and now we're turning around. You could see here CI is now turning back up and CI diff is now positive. Going here to this 60-minute chart, we have the weekly support, pivot, and resistance. We talked about this was 1451, our first target. We met it in the morning, and then we even went further up. Our next target here is a little bit far from here, 1473. That's gonna be a little far, but that's our next target here on our 60-minute chart with the weekly support, pivot, and resistance. On the downside, maybe looking for the weekly pivot at 1438. That's gonna be critical to hold in case we get some pullback. Let's go to this moving average chart and look what we got here. We have this big reversal here the past 2 days after this very important resistance, 50-day moving average, and our previous top here made in April. So now we have 2 big bars up, very impressive action here, and now we may be looking for a test of this previous high. We have not closed above this level, so that's gonna be the level we want to see, a close above it. The 10-day moving average is closing now and passing the 20-day moving average, which is bullish here. Also, the 2 short-term moving averages, the 10 and the 20, are starting to turn around higher to get some positive slope. 50-day moving average continues to go higher, so looks like the market's gaining momentum to the upside. We're gonna see if that continues to hold after the EPS season. We have very important companies coming out with earnings, so that's gonna be our next catalyst. Also tonight we have the presidential debate. That's gonna be also a factor here, so let's watch maybe the markets gaining some momentum to the upside, take those previous highs. Those are gonna be the targets on the upside. On the downside, maybe looking for a 1430. That's gonna be our stop here, 50-day moving average. So that's gonna be critical. Let's go for SPY and get the targets here. Here we have the SPY. We're looking for 143.36. That's gonna be our stop, 50-day moving average also. And on the upside, we want to see maybe around 147, 148 level. That's gonna be the target on the upside if we continue to build on momentum. On the 60-minute chart, here we have the weekly support, pivot, and resistance, and we're looking for 147 and 148.29. Those are gonna be our weekly target, and we're gonna move that next week. So those are gonna be the targets on the shorter term. For the Qs, here we have the Nasdaq ETF, and right now today we were up 1.10%. We are right now at our first target of 69.49. That's gonna be our target to hit here. That's gonna be weekly support resistance number 2. Right now we touched our first target of 6809. In case we get a pullback, we want this weekly pivot to hold at 6732. You could see how these levels hold very much, so it's important to keep them in mind. On the longer time frame here for the Qs, we have here the daily chart, and we are looking right now at some resistance. The 50-day moving average is at 68.38. That needs to break, and in case we go higher, maybe look and test this 70.69 level, which was some previous important highs. That's gonna be the important phase here. Break this 50-day moving average to the upside. Let's go to the Russell 2000 ETF IWM. We have here the risk-on, risk-off ETF. We talked about this very important level to hold 82.50s, 82.80s, and we hold it here, this level. We are right now at 83.25. We broke the 10-day moving average, and the 20-day moving average is at 83.72. That's gonna be our next target here, and break that. We want to close above it. Important here for this to start turning around, this short-term moving average to start turning around, and maybe come and test this 85 level. Those are gonna be here the shorter term targets. We can see here we have perfect trend line here and some support, so we want to hold this, respect it, and go even higher with the Russell 2000 ETF. Bring some risk on appetite into the market, so we're getting higher readings here. Maybe look for 85, and then longer targets, look for a new high of the year. For our 60-minute chart here on the IWM, we are at weekly resistance number 1, and we're looking for next target. It's gonna be 84.62. That's gonna be our next target, so we're looking for that level here. Last chart we're gonna look at is the GLD. And here let's start with the daily chart. Here we have the GLD. We have an update 0.7% for the day. Interesting here, we have yesterday a gap down. Maybe we're trying to go and fill this gap here. But short term, very short term, we're looking for lower prices. Maybe come here to test this 166 level, as the two moving averages are crossing lower and pointing for lower prices. If we do not hold this 68 level, this 66 could be taken also almost for granted, and after that would be a very nice entry here for GLD on the long run. That's gonna be a longer term trade. And if we're gonna look at shorter term, we're looking here on the 60-minute chart, maybe looking for 166.68. That's gonna be weekly support number 3, and we're looking for 168.25. That's weekly support number 2. So those are the two targets on the downside. In case we bounce from here, we're looking for 170.72, which is the weekly pivot, and 171.62. That's support number, resistance number 1. We have a special offer by TradeStation. Get your Hamsey Analytics proprietary indicators paid by TradeStation. Contact Active Traders office in Chicago, Peter Albino, at the number listed below. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.